Yo, what up? Welcome back. My name's Brad, if we've never met before. And I like to create videos about how to be better and how to create a life that you want and that I want, rather than just waking up one day and be like, oh crap, this is the one that I got. So I like to be intentional and like to create and share lessons that I've learned. So today what I want to talk about is the process of progress. So I want to be clear. There are phases of progress that you're going to go through. There are principles of progress. There are phases of success, principles of success. But today I want to talk about the progress, like what, or the process rather. What does the process look like to progress and to be successful? And I came up with an acronym, and it was so important and impactful for me that I put it on my hat. See my hat, DALR. It's also there behind me on the wall right here, DALR. Because I wanted to see it every single day when I looked in the mirror. I wanted to look at it all the time to remind me that I've just got to be making this stuff happen, and then I will be in progress and I will accomplish success in whatever aspect of my life that I want. So I want to give you an overview of this, and hopefully it'll give you a tool that you can use to keep yourself dialed in when life throws curveballs at you, and it will, and it does. And in other videos, we can dive deeper into some of these principles, and I'll share some of the stories about curveballs that have been thrown at me and how this has helped, how those actually spawned the creation of this, and then also how I use it as I navigate them as life still throws curveballs. But today I just want to do an overview. So if you haven't guessed yet, and by guessed I mean read, DALR stands for Decide, Act, Learn, Repeat. And this is the process of progress, okay? So it's how progress actually works. I am convinced that if you have ever stalled in progress in any aspect of your life, and or if you have not accomplished or you're unsatisfied, dissatisfied with the level of success you have in any area of your life, relationship, school, health, business, whatever, income, money, whatever, it's because you're not doing one of these four correctly. That's how I use it, is I just remind myself, so when I'm like annoyed at some part of my life, it's like, all right, well, cool, I either have not decided or I've decided incorrectly, I'm not acting or I'm acting poorly or incorrectly, I'm not learning or I'm learning poorly and incorrectly, or I'm not repeating. It's one of those four things. Once I can identify what it is, I get right back into action and moving things along. So each one of these words has like a little phrase that goes with it that really helps kind of capture the essence of it. So I'm just going to run through those. And then if you like it and you want to hear more about any one of them, then let me know. If you think, hey, that hat's kind of cool, let me know. It's a flex fit. I've got different sizes. We could probably figure something out to get you one. Just let me know. But as it is, let's roll through this. So I'm going to flip over here. We're going to draw a little picture. And by picture, I mean I'm just going to write some words. Okay. So DALR. D stands for decide. And when you decide, we're going to decide with ruthless practicality. And here's what that means. It means we're going to be ruthless in our decision making. We're going to stop hedging, hemming, hawing, hesitating, fearing the outcome, or that ourselves or somebody else might be disappointed. We are going to identify what the best possible decision is in whatever aspect. We're going to identify what needs to be done, and then we're just going to decide to go do it. And then we'll figure out and we'll trust ourselves that we'll deal with anybody that might be disappointed. I find that most people hesitate on the decision making because they are nervous about how other people are going to respond and react, which means they're not being ruthless, they're being weak. So we're going to be ruthless. Now, ruthless doesn't mean be a prick. Another quote that I go by and live by is decide ruthlessly but execute humanly. The key is to take ruthless into the decision making. The human part can be on the execution side. Okay, so when we decide we're going to be ruthless in our decision making, which means for most of us, it means that we're going to do the thing that we already know that we should do, but we've been stalling because we're afraid of how somebody else might react. We're just going to acknowledge, nope, that's it. I know I need to go do it. I'll deal with and I'll figure out how to execute it in a way that doesn't, tick people off or make me a jerk or whatever. But I'm also clear that this is the most important thing for me to do, or it's a thing that I have to do. Okay, so ruthless, and then practicality is the other half of it. The other place where I see decide go wrong for me and for everybody else is that we decide too big. We have no practicality in it. We don't actually consider the reality of our situation. And so when we decide, we'll decide so big that we can't actually make any progress. We can't actually take action. We can't actually do anything with it because it's too big. So the ruthless practicality, ruthless is identify the thing you know you need to do, commit to it. And then practicality is be like, okay, realistically, like how am I going to move this thing forward? I don't mean realistically diminish my goals and my dreams. I just mean when I decide, because the next step is act. When I decide, I'm deciding on something that I can actually take action on, which might mean I take this big, huge goal, and what I decide on is I'm going to start right here with this first piece, and then I'll decide again later. All right, so decide with ruthless practicality. All right, act. And when you act with fearless imperfection. One of the reasons why we don't act is because of fear. So we're just fearless. We're going to go into this thing head first, and we're not afraid of looking dumb. We're not afraid of what other people might think. We don't care because we're in the process of progress and success. And anybody else who's in the process of progress and success will never mock. The only people that will mock are the people that are not in the process of progress and success, and we don't actually care what those people have to say. We're just going to ignore them. So we're going to be fearless when we act. Second part, imperfection. We're not worried about it being perfect. We're worried about it getting done because we know that we're going to improve it later. So act with fearless imperfection means I'm cool launching a version 1. I'm going to launch it as soon as I can. Man, there are so many things that I want to dive into on this. So even with the decide, there's a whole bunch of other things. But the point is this, act with fearless imperfection. So first, decide with ruthless practicality and then act with fearless imperfection. All right, we're going to keep going because I can't do all the workshops and every one of these points in this video. That was not the point of this video in the first place. All right, learn. When you learn with scoreboard humility. Let me tell you what this means really quickly, okay? Scoreboard. So I'm a sports guy. I love basketball. And one of the things that amuses me more than anything is when we're playing in a game and we're winning, whatever. One team's winning by 30 points or something. And then somebody on the other team, someone who's losing, makes one good play and they start talking trash. And everybody's like, bro, look at the scoreboard. Like, what are we talking about? You are getting smoked right now. So that's where the idea of scoreboard humility comes from. And scoreboard humility means pay attention to whether you're winning or not. And if you're not winning, be humble enough to recognize that you're doing something wrong, period. And then figure out what needs to change. So scoreboard humility means I have a goal that I'm trying to get to. And remember, again, in the process of progress, it implies that we're going after something we don't already have. If we already had it, we would not be in the process of progress in order to obtain it. It means we have a goal we're working towards, which means we don't know what we need to know. We have not done what we need to do, nor have we become who we need to become in order to have the thing that we want, whether it be a certain level of income, whether it be a certain relationship, whether it be a certain house that we live in, whether it be that we have just this thing like peace and calm in our life. If we don't have it, it means that there's something we need to learn. So you pay attention to the scoreboard. If I don't have a great relationship with my wife or if things seem to be going off, it's like I got to stop and be humble enough to recognize that I'm doing something wrong. Life will teach us lessons if we stop and pay attention. So scoreboard humility is just friggin' pay attention and recognize and be humble enough that when you don't have the results that you want, it's because you're doing something wrong. And then you go research and figure, okay, well, what can I do better? And then we're going to get back up because you're going to decide and act and learn again. All right, now, last one, R. R is for repeat. And when you repeat as fast as you can. I'm going to underline that whole thing, okay? So decide, act, learn, repeat. Decide. Just decide what you know you need to do, commit to it, and let's go. Make sure we're being practical. You can't solve world hunger overnight, but you can make an impact. You can start something. So ruthless practicality. When you act with fearless imperfection. Don't worry about the people that are making fun because they're not doing anything anyway. It doesn't matter. We're going to be fearless, and version 1 is not going to be perfect. No version is ever going to be perfect, and we're totally fine with the first version. Then we're going to learn with scoreboard humility. So we've decided on something. We're acting on something. We're going to stop and be like, all right, did I get what I wanted out of that? How are we doing? What was good? What was bad? And then we're going to repeat by coming back up here. Based on what we learned with our scoreboard humility, we're going to come back up here and be like, all right, cool. Now what do I need to do? Maybe that means I need to burn down everything that I just did, and I need to try an entirely different approach. Scoreboard humility will let me acknowledge that. Ruthless practicality will be like, well, that ruthless, I got to do it. It's got to happen. So now how do I go about it in a way that doesn't blow up my entire life? But I'm going to be ruthless, and I'll be willing to sacrifice this whole thing if I have to because I'm committed to the success and I'm committed to the progress. So that's it. Process of progress, DALR, dollar. Decide, act, learn, repeat. When you decide with ruthless practicality. When you act with fearless imperfection. When you learn with scoreboard humility. When you repeat repeat as fast as you can. I have a prettier printout of this, but I wanted to write it out for the sake of this video. So if you want a printout of this that I can send you that you could put up on your wall, let me know, or just put on a desk or whatever, I'll send that to you. If you're interested in a hat, let me know. If you want to, if you're interested or you think it'd be valuable to dive into any of these, decide, act, learn, repeat, or whatever, let me know, and I can crank out some other videos around that. That's it. I got nothing else for you. So hopefully that was helpful. If you had some insights or there were particular pieces that really stood out that were helpful, I would love to hear. So let me know. And other than that, DALR it. Just keep doing it. All right, I got nothing else. So now I'm just going to fill in some filler stuff until I figure out how to stop this video, which is now. All right, peace.